anybody here complaining about not being out there today? Am I going to get any questions about why you didn't get to watch a scrimmage today? Probably would want to be in the press box though, right? All right, well, the scrimmage really started out with really good intensity, and things were really going well. We knew we were going to have some problems with the weather today, but I felt it was important for our team to be able to come here and scrimmage in the stadium, and I thought it was important for the game administration part of it, of using the press box, having people call plays from the press box, using our press box organization and all those types of things that if we'd have practiced indoors, we'd have never been able to do it. It really wasn't that bad out there. We probably had about a 40-minute break, but I really thought we had some tempo, especially early on offense. I thought we ran the ball really effectively. I thought both quarterbacks did a good job. I think it would be unfair to either player to really evaluate any kind of passing statistics based on today. All right, first of all, you'd almost have to include the drops, all right, because there were a few drops because of the conditions. And I just don't think it would be fair based on those conditions to try to make some kind of statistical assessment. So, that's not the most important thing, to us. I think we have a lot of things that we did very well out there today. I thought all three of our backs, played really well. Receivers made plays. Defensively, we have a long way to go. I think we missed a lot of tackles. We have a lot of young players that are getting a lot of opportunities because of the players that we have out. We have a lot of defensive players that are out that if you added them up into two deep, that's quite a few guys. Well, the good part about that is some of the freshman players who may be able to help us are getting lots of turns, lots of reps. They also, it goes with the territory that they make a few more mistakes. But that's the best learning opportunities that they have, all right, that when they make a mistake, they sort of get an opportunity to learn more, grow more, and maybe improve as a player more quickly. I was really pleased with the kicking game part of it today. The punter punted well, and I think Griff was 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7 or something like that. 4 out of 5, and the one he missed, he really didn't have his holder in there. It was right when the storm was coming, and we tried to get finish the drive with the field goal, and he ended up kicking with the 2s. But I thought he did a good job of kicking off. KJ Scott was pretty effective. So obviously when we watch this film, there's a lot of things that we need to improve on. We have a long way to go in terms of developing a team. And the players have to understand why good teams win. And they got to be willing to do the things to develop the habits that are going to make them successful on a consistent basis. And, that's what we're going to continue to try to work on over this next week.
And just one, throughout the fall and just kind of preparing the defense for another season full of up-tempo offenses, have you changed what you simulate in practice, or is it hard to get them real?
Well, we do it in practice every day, and we usually do it good on good. We actually scrimmaged a segment of it today. I don't know, it was probably 8 or 10 plays. So, it is hard to simulate when you're not a no-huddle team. All right, but our team is capable of being a no-huddle team. So we practice that against each other, and it's the best way that we can get the best look. So we have practiced it more. But in all honesty, guys, you all make way too much of this. I mean, the last game, team had 21 points against us with 30 seconds to go in the game, and I don't think anybody held them to 21 points all year long. I mean, I saw them score 60 in the SEC championship game or whatever. We shut Ole Miss out here. We had 4 turnovers against Oklahoma that led to 28 points. 2 of them, the defense never even got back on the field. So there were 14 points that they didn't even show up for. They run the kickoff back for a touchdown, recovered a fumble for a touchdown, and gave them the ball another time on a 13-yard line. So, when you look in it deeply relative to how the other teams do we need to play better, or do we play as well against those teams as maybe some other teams? I guess you could make a case for that. But I do think that it's much more difficult for defensive players to sustain their intensity throughout the game when they're playing that many plays. So it becomes a team thing. How about keeping the ball away from them? How about controlling the ball on offense so they don't have the ball so much? So that's something that we did in the A&M game. We didn't play very well on defense in that game, in my opinion. We didn't play very well on defense in the Oklahoma game. We make it out like we're like horrible when we play a team that we played 7 no-huddle teams last year. And, we didn't play as well as we should have in a couple of those games. But I also think that it takes the defensive coaches out of the game. We do a good job of scheming people when we play them. We do a good job of telling our players how they need to play things and how to stop what they do. And when you play a no-huddle team, you can't do as good a job of that. You can't do as good a job of that. They don't recognize it as fast. And I don't care how you practice it, it's going to be difficult unless you're a no-huddle team yourself. And that has a downside, because how do you coach the players? You can't coach them between plays, because everything's about how fast you go. So, we're going to improve on it. We're practicing it better. We need to improve on it. But I think we need to improve on defense, period. I think we need to improve in coverage. I think we need to improve in mental errors. I think we need to improve on how we strike people up front. I think we missed too many tackles today, so we got to tackle a whole lot better. And, we can't give up big plays. And we got to be able to pressure the quarterback better. So I think if we can do all those things better, we'll probably play against everybody better.
Coach, I guess a little bit of a follow-up on defense. Have some defensive linemen not back. You had at least one, Ashon, out with an injury. How did that affect the defensive line today? Did anybody step up today that you noticed?
Yeah, I think Jonathan Allen's really been playing well. I think Petway's really been playing well. Darren Lake has made some improvement. Foster is a freshman who is getting lots of turns and lots of reps. There are guys that are making a significant amount of improvement. Dalvin was really playing well. He got his toe stepped on, so he didn't really scrimmage today. He got his toe stepped on, last night in practice. So, he might be a day or two or whatever, but all those guys have played better. That was the one part of our team that I thought we had a lot more depth in going into this camp. But we have had a lot of players absent for various reasons that, has not been one of the strengths that we thought it would be. But every one of those players we will get back at some point in time.
On the right there. Statistics aside, how would you evaluate the quarterbacks in terms of the job they did in the huddle, leading the guys through not the best of situations out there?
I think they both did a lot of good things. I think they both have some things that they wish they had back. And I think they both probably made some choices and decisions that we can improve on. But I also think both guys showed that they're capable of doing what we need to do with them on offense so that we can be effective with the other players that we have. So we're not pleased or satisfied completely with where they are, but we're not disappointed in the progress that we're making at that position. And it was a tough day to operate out there. I mean, after the first, I think, series that each team had, we're 40 minutes in the locker room, and then we go out there and, it's raining the whole time. So, but I thought both guys handled that well, too.
Mike?
You mentioned Dalvin having to split stuff, and anybody else, any health concerns at all coming out of the scrimmage?
Well, we got some guys that, I think the biggest concern would be Freitag. Got a turf toe out there, so those are always difficult, and we probably need to further evaluate that. Gino sprained his knee. He'll probably be out for a day or two, a couple days maybe, I don't know. We had a couple guys get mild ankle sprains, but Dominic Jackson probably has an ankle sprain that might keep him out for a couple weeks. That he probably got the worst, but everything else was just nicks.
What did you see from the corners today, and is that one of the spots like you were talking about where injuries could put some freshmen in the mix? And along that line, how much was Eddie Jackson able to do today?
We didn't scrimmage Eddie today. I mean, he probably could have scrimmaged today, but we did not. That was our choice, not to do that. He's been doing a good job in practice. I don't think that's a position that you can play if you're not 100%. And he's certainly making great progress, but he can do everything in practice. But I don't think he's ready to go out there and scrimmage football yet. Cyrus Jones has had a really good camp. Bradley Sylvie's done a really good job so far. Those two guys have done a good job. Tony and Marlon are learning. Maurice Smith has done a good job, so far. So they're all getting plenty of turns, and they're all getting to play a lot.
Chris?
You talked at the beginning of camp about refining your identity. It's only been a week, but do you like what you've seen so far?
Well, I like this team. I kind of feel like, this team has a lot of togetherness. I think they like each other off the field. I think they need to take the brotherhood to the field, a little bit. I think, leadership is something that is a work in progress that we need to keep working on. I think we have a lot more maturity on offense right now in terms of older, more experienced players who have leadership qualities than maybe we do on defense. But I think we certainly need to develop that.
Two quick ones, DC, Ken.
From what you're able to see, I know you haven't seen film, but just how the offensive line and Cam Robinson fared out there.
Cam Robinson's doing really, really well. He's been doing really well all camp. I've been encouraged by the offensive line, to this point. Leon will probably start doing, some stuff this week, or at least go through his sort of acclimation period that he has to go through. It takes 5 days to really, 4 days to get them to where they be in pads like everybody else. But that's probably a good thing, and it'd probably be helpful to him in terms of his rehab. But Shep's been playing really good. Ryan Kelly has been playing really well. RE is consistent. Shank has been playing consistently and doing a good job. And we've been physical, up front. Dominic is a very physical player. He was going to certainly have a presence. Pierce Barker looks as a freshman like a guy that may be able to contribute into two deep. So, I've been kind of pleased with the way that group's come along.
Last one, Ken.
You mentioned being eager to see the film. I don't know that we've asked you, what is your process, for looking at a film? When will you get a copy, and how will you go through the film on that?
Well, I usually do it at home. So tonight, they'll have the film, they'll have the computer at my house before I get to my house. And, I have a hookup in my chair where I sit at home and I watch it. And, I grade the offense and the defense based on, winning plays relative to the down and distance and losing plays relative to the down and distance, and why those plays were successful, and when we failed, why did we fail? Who got hooked? Who didn't do their job right? Who didn't play the play right? Who didn't block the right guy on offense? Whatever it is. Same thing with special teams. We have Squad Sunday tomorrow, which is a tradition around here that I look forward to every year. So I do this in the season on Sunday morning before I go to church. And I've already watched a film, we go to 11 o'clock church, and we start at noon, and I've already seen all the film, and then I just meet with the coaches about the comments that we have. And sometimes I'll watch, parts of the film. And then I kind of mark plays for what we call the good, bad, ugly reel. We show some good plays, we show some bad plays, and we show some ugly plays, and we try to make corrections and make it a learning experience for the whole team, especially if there's some situation in the game or some situation in the scrimmage of the game that it can be a learning point for everybody. Maybe a guy runs out of bounds when he needed to get a first down in 2 minutes, or, something like that guys just got to have a better awareness for. So I'll be watching some tonight while you're watching golf and going to the movies and all that.
Thanks.
All right, see you.